All across the country, the thin blue line is getting thinner and thinner. Police officers are seen less and less these days. They're too busy to get out. Now though, the cops in Yorkshire are doing something about it. They've come up with an operation where combined manpower from North, South and West Yorkshire and neighbouring Humberside all hit the streets of one place together in an all-out show of force.
We have arrested somebody across the region once every 6 minutes, which is enough to fill Doncaster Prison 7 times over.
Today, it's Grimsby's turn for a quick fix.
Many things don't strike fear into criminals' hearts, but I'm sure saying all you lot out on the roads today will do that.
If you take officers from 4 forces and put them into one area for the day, then there's a great chance you're going to get some success.
The largest contingent in Grimsby to play has come from South Yorkshire.
Someone described us as being children in a new playground. It was like we're in a new area, and I think everybody had a little bit of spirit and thought, right, let's go on and police Grimsby hard.
We're out targeting criminals that are using the roads.
All available traffic cops have been mobilised today. Even the bosses.
Coming in thick and fast. I think there's been about 7 or 8 no insurances.
We're going to be busy.
I'd only come across for that particular day as sort of liaison for Operation Impact, and she was short of a driver, so I got drafted in, hence I was wearing the bike gear while driving a car.
The nerve centre for the operation is the control room, where they're directing the hunt for a car stolen earlier in the day.
A Laguna was circulated, and we were told at the briefing that it had been stolen from Tesco that morning. So we were all looking out for that one.
Including the South Yorkshire boys in their unmarked Volvo, who have a reputation to live up to as top thief catchers.
Oh, this is more like it, this. Big estates. We knew what problems that Grimsby has, very similar to certain areas of Sheffield. Drugs, car crime, burglaries. So we pretty much had an idea what type of area we were moving into. Is that row of shops like our Manor Park Centre sign? One converges back down there.
Converge.
Is that a word? Converge.
Converge.
Converge. Did I say converge?
Yeah.
I did.
Both me and Tim have got quite a lot of experience in the job, and you learn as time goes on who to look at, the type of people that you're looking at, how they look at you, and also the type of vehicles that they use.
The Vauxhall coming towards them fits the bill nicely.
That Vector looks worth a look.
Blue.
Yeah. It might as well have had an orange flashing light on the top and a big sign on the back saying stop me. The driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
It's November 584 Victor Papa Alpha Blue Vectra.
Seatbelts on now.
Confirming a blue Vectra, it's no reports present. The previous keeper details from Ipswich.
Insurance.
Rogers, any insurance shown on that, please?
That's a negative.
It was showing no insurance. It was showing all the markers that you would suggest that the person is driving it without any form of documentation. Thinking about it?
Flashing blue lights from behind can only mean one thing.
Still thinking about it?
Even if they are on an unmarked Volvo.
Is he going to bomb back?
Do you know what it is?
I don't know. He is.
It's time to pull over.
Initially we thought it was going to fail to stop for us. We put the blue lights, headlamp flashes on and indicated that we wanted it to stop. He'd seen us, you could see that he'd seen us, and he just took a long time to stop. I believe that he was running it through his mind whether or not he could fail to stop and get away or not, and he obviously made the right choice. If police want you to stop, then really you should stop straight away. Because the first thing that happens is we think that you don't want to stop for us.
That's why I indicated
Right, well, sometimes we get people getting at rods as well, you know what I mean? Is it your car?
No, I borrowed it.
Does he know you borrowed it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah.
Is it your car?
Yeah, it's just...
Whose car is it then?
It's just like a car that I'm buying, but I haven't actually bought the car, so I'm buying the car and just send the car out.
But the owner knows you've got it?
Oh yeah, as I say, I'm not the legal owner,
but you've got authority to drive it?
Yeah, I am going to be the legal owner, so I'm selling it.
Have a seat in the back of my car for us.
It's very vague on actually who owned the car. He didn't own it. Straight away I admitted no insurance on the car. You known to police, Mark?
Yeah.
What fella? Driving offences. Have you got a full licence? Okay. Didn't have to ask him many questions to find out he'd got no licence either. Yeah, this Vectra that finally got stopped. Could I have a Phoenix Person and DL on the driver, please?
These cops from South Yorkshire may be part of a crack car crime busting unit, but Sergeant Horton still worries about baldness.
Get that there. Oh, cords exposed all the way around. Get all the tyre there. Get them cords there. See them? See the tyres on it?
Right, see? You just said about tyre.
3 like that. Watch yourself, you'll cut your finger.
The check on the driver has come back. He's a prize catch. A drug dealer.
Steve!
A search of his car is imperative.
Intelligence on Class C supply and stolen goods. Stolen goods.
What?
I just need to go through a vehicle.
It's got 3 regular tyres on it. The front tyre is just cords alone. There's no rubber on it. Just cut your finger.
He's such a traffic cop, isn't he? After all these years in a road crime team, we're supposed to be looking at burglars and drug dealers and car thieves, and he's more interested in a tyre.
Gives me grounds to do a quick search, so that's what I'm going to do.
We knew from his previous convictions that he was involved in supplying of cannabis and other drugs, so that was enough for us to obviously go back to the vehicle and have a second look at it and search through it to see if there's any substances on board that vehicle.
Sure enough, there is.
We searched for the vehicle and we found some cannabis resin, all in one large polythene bag, but all separately wrapped up in what we call dealer wraps, all weighed and all measured, ready to sell on.
It's one up to the South Yorkshire boys.
We ought to have had a bit of a sweepstake to see who got first prisoners, didn't we? Well, you're a lot of fannying about, we've struck.
Just a standard stop check. Cough, no licence, no insurance. We've gone into the centre console. We found obviously the 6 major wraps of cannabis resin.
Because of the difference in local procedures, process teams have been set up for the day, so anybody that were arrested were to be handed over to local process teams who would then put the file together, and we would be then left to go back out on the streets and continue doing what I think we do best.
And that means looking for more fish to fry, and in particular, the stolen car circulated at the briefing.
This is where this lagoon is going to be, isn't it?
Yep. Where were it nicked from?
We nicked from Cleethorpes, from Tesco. That was the top of our list that we were looking for, to see if we could find that vehicle.
Does your man know where Sutcliffe Avenue is?
Shall we follow check on this Astra?
Astra?
No seatbelt.
No job is too small today. Not even passengers who aren't wearing seatbelts.
It sounds a little bit petty to some people, but you know, seatbelts lead to a lot of other things. No, he's giving himself up. The driver, he checked out, he had his licence and insurance for the car. The passenger wasn't so sure on.
1905. Where's your mum live?
Passed away.
Right. Dad?
Passed away.
Auntie, uncle, sister, brother? Yeah. So where are you sleeping tonight?
Oh, I don't know. Might stay at my auntie's again, I suppose.
All right. Let's go have a seat to market after a minute.
The cops want to give the man a ticket, a £30 fine, but to do that, they have to have an address.
He initially said that he was no fixed aboard, which is the old try-on of you can't deal with me because you don't know where to come and find me. If you say you're no fixed aboard, then the way forward is you get arrested and put before court, and the court will fine you.
What's that?
No fixed aboard, this kid.
No fixed
I'll
aboard?
give you my auntie's address, do you know what I mean? I don't staying there.
What's your auntie's address then? But usually then they come up with an address that we can serve a summons or go and look for them should we need to.
Across town, the net is about to close in on the stolen Renault Laguna.
And I just glanced across and saw a Laguna of the right type and colour, and I was fairly sure at that time that was it.
That's it.
Their lights had turned to green and that line of cars had set off, so we needed to get turned round.
Right. Left. Off tank 20.
Just drive priority. I don't know.
But it was a good feeling, and sometimes that's just the luck of the draw on the day.
2-0 on to Ladysmith Road behind the red Renault Laguna.
We were keen to spot it, and we just dropped on it, which is really unusual for me because I'm like a Jonah. I never ever get to drop on stolen cars.
With the chase on, the South Yorkshire cops are still tied up with the man with no seatbelt or redress.
Have you been to with police before?
Yeah, we've been for a while.
Renault Laguna, Hotel Kilo 02.
Here we go. Someone's behind the stolen car.
It sounded like they were following it. They'd not tried to stop it.
Hotel Kilo 02, Whiskey Yankee Zulu, the SMP.
Get the helicopter.
Oscar
And
99.
of course, at the briefing, I'm thinking South Yorkshire are here. They're not getting that red Laguna. We're going to get the red Laguna. So there was a little bit of interforce rivalry.
Oscar 99, please. Just, you see.
Don't know where they are yet.
Yeah, we're behind at Ladysmith Road towards Durban Road. No attempt to stop the vehicle at this time.
It's the man with no seatbelt's lucky day.
See you later.
Cheers, chap.
You're just going to get a 30 quid then, but you've got off with it.
Horton and Scothen have got a more important task to deal with. South Yorkshire pride.
Fortunately for him, we're getting benefited out. Give him a Scarborough warning.
Tell him it was his lucky day.
The Scarborough one is it's your last chance. You're on your finals, yellow card. Don't do it again.
2-0.
The red Laguna driver won't be getting away so lightly.
My experience with people in stolen cars is they're not going to stop. They're going to put up some kind of resistance to you.
The right indication into 6 hills. 2-0, it's 2 up.
2 received.
But this driver's resistance is waning.
Looks like it's going to stop somewhere.
He's lost his bottle.
It just stopped at the roadside. So that sort of threw us a little bit.
Is this your car? It's your granddad's. Is it? What's your name, fella? Who?
Daniel.
Danny? Just switch off for a sec, Danny. Jump out. How long you had it, Danny?
It's not mine, it's my granddad's.
Granddad's, is it?
We got it in 2002, it's 5 years.
Is it? Just come and sit in the vehicle with us then, Danny, because we've had a report the vehicle's stolen. Alright. Just sit there for a second, fella.
I couldn't believe the number of police vehicles that were there within minutes.
Put your hands down in front of you, Danny. Cute.
As it was, they gave up because they obviously realised it was me and Heather, and not the South Yorkshire lads.
We've got 2 in the vehicle at the minute, so just stand back.
Beaten to the Laguna driver by the Humberside cops, Scothen and Horton can turn their attention back to the man with no seatbelt they'd just let go.
Cheers,
Do you want to stop him and sort it out? Finish it off?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm telling you, it was his lucky day.
I think he was a very lucky young man that day. He didn't get a fine.
It doesn't seem to be the Laguna driver's lucky day.
We've had a report the vehicle's been stolen from Tesco today.
It's not a stolen car. It's not me.
The cops don't believe his story.
We're not getting quite the full story at the moment, I'm sure we will.
It's not even Nick, Mark.
It checked out that it was his granddad's car, but his granddad had reported it stolen.
It may well be his granddad's car, but what's in it certainly isn't.
Bag here that's just full of hypodermic needles.
Need a van, because he'll need it searched back at the Dewberry. Preparing it, I don't know, a large amount of money, mobile phones, lighters, usual drug paraphernalia, that's about it.
It's been stolen several days earlier in Scotland, but it had actually made off without payment for petrol at our Tesco's, which is why, again, it came to our attention and was circulated.
We just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
The right place every time to intercept criminals making the trip to Grimsby from neighbouring Hull is on the A15, which crosses the River Humber. PC Andy Stainton in his Subaru just has to wait for them to come past.
We obviously monitor the traffic that flows by. We look at people, we look at vehicles, and if there's anything we're not happy with, then we will act accordingly.
Let's have a look at that one, that silver Citroen.
The silver Citroen C4 came by. It's got 2 or 3 real big boxes in the back of it. And I've thought, well, there's something not quite right with that vehicle. You can't see through his rearview mirrors. because obviously the boxes are there. We'll have a little look at it and just see what it does.
He's off.
Stainton seems to have hit lucky. The car with 2 men on board is not slowing down. They must have a pretty good reason if they think they can outrun the 150-mile-an-hour Subaru Impreza. The check on the computer of the vehicle's registration explains everything.
It came back that somebody had called Crime Stoppers to suggest that the occupants of that vehicle were involved in the distribution of drugs within the Humberside area.
The Citroen's fast, but no match for the Subaru. Nevertheless, Stainton wants the chopper.
My responsibility is to get onto the radio and organise resources to help us. And the main resource that we would use on this particular occasion is Oscar 99, the helicopter. The helicopter would have a good overview of where it's headed, what it's doing, where it's likely to go.
Around the roundabout and on the roundabout. It's heavy braking, narrowly avoiding a lorry, there are no problems.
His driving was extremely dangerous. In 20 years of service, it's probably up there in the top 10 of pursuits that I've been involved in, if not the top 5.
That's a Roger, he is overtaking at the face of oncoming traffic. No problem at this stage, speed is reduced to 60, approaching the village of Melton Ross. Melton Ross, 60, direction to the...
Just the sheer recklessness of what he was doing. He was overtaking in the face of oncoming traffic, overtaking on blind bends, overtaking on blind hills, overtaking where there were a system of solid white lines down the middle of the road. We have to find out why he's fleeing from us, and at that point it's going to have to be something fairly serious for him to drive like he did.
Now approaching the sweeping bends at the cement works, still overtaking in the face of oncoming traffic.
That's no, he's overtaking a bus.
However,
on the approach to Melton Ross, a bus has had to take avoiding action, and that bus was full of school children.
it's now a temporary loss due to the overtaking upon the brow to a hill.
Because we couldn't overtake at the same time, they managed to get quite some distance ahead of us.
Still a temporary loss, we're trying to make ground. He will be by the airport by the gauge.
The Subarus are a quick vehicle. It was vital then that that power was used, and it was.
It's a near-side indication if patrols will come towards Birmingham and Croxton. There's a left, Croxton Road. So left on Croxton Road. And a further right within the village of Birmingham. It's an unclassified road. East End. Right onto unclassified East End.
There were single-track country roads, and he was driving at speeds of 70, 80, 90 miles an hour.
Speed is 80, single carriageway road, no vehicles on the road.
And if anything had been coming the other way, there'd have been no chance for any vehicles.
The men in the car have got a plan to lose the cops. They're making for open countryside.
He took a near-side fork into a field.
He appears to be now upon a grass track.
It was quite bumpy, quite rutted. The ruts were filled with water, quite slippery, quite muddy. So I'm thankful that at that point Oscar 99 came above us.
We're just coming upon the field.
There were times where the aircraft had to go down quite low in case they start throwing things out the window because it was believed that this vehicle was carrying drugs.
No, even get as many patrols, please, towards this area. Lots of woods here. If he abandons it, we can only contain the wood. We won't be able to see another.
If he dumps it and decides to run in an area that's difficult to cover by the helicopter, we had to be there to try and effect an arrest.
Right, Hotel 82, your location, please. 9 is heading generally towards Immingham. If we can get any stingers at the end of this road at Immingham.
He continued to drive at breakneck speed.
Yeah, 9, it's approaching the T-junction at Immingham.
We then managed to close the gap a little bit because of the capabilities of our vehicle and the commentary from Oscar 99 directing us in.
The car is heading for a council estate in Immingham. It could be where the occupants live, and they're just in a hurry to get home.
You're heading where there will be a cut-off for this vehicle. If you can go to the next roundabout and float around there. 9, stop, runners! Driver detained, 1 runner.
There were blows exchanged, we scuffled, and I eventually managed to restrain him. No messing.
The other runner has got away, he thinks, but he hasn't bargained for the all-seeing eye in the sky.
Dog van, next left.
Fortunately, because Oscar 99 was with us straight away, they were able to monitor that person.
And he's out the front door. He's out the front door. He's in the street at the front door, walking casually. 2 officers in the back garden, run round the front quickly. 99 is entering the neighbour's property. And he's straight in. He's wearing a white shirt.
The officers on the ground were directed to that house, given a brief description of what the male looked like. So they went in and they brought a male out, but now he had a red top on.
Yeah, 99, that could well be him with a change of top.
But it proved that he knew that the helicopter was there because he changed his top. So he went from a white top to a red top, just trying anything that he could to actually get away from the officers on the ground.
Follow me, 'cause we've got to get out of here. I've got one prisoner in here.
Right. The neighbours are out in full, seeing what the fuss is all about.
Quite a large crowd gathered, some of whom were quite hostile towards the police. Say probably at least 50 or 60 people. A lot of them were children. They just stood and watched, innocent bystanders as such. But 2 or 3 of the other people, the adults, were quite verbally hostile and aggressive. I wasn't sure why, because we'd stopped this fella from potentially killing one of their children.
They're all departing because it's just creating chaos. That's the car, and that's it. They're all abandoning because it's just getting chaos here with just drinking. Right.
Because this crowd was swelling, the decision was then made to remove the prisoners, get us out of there, and get to somewhere safe.
Somewhere safe is the police station in Immingham. The 2 suspected drug dealers have been brought in. And so has their car.
I actually drove the Citroen in to Immingham police station so that we could look at what was in it.
It's the catch of the day.
20 bags. 20 kilos maybe.
Shrink wrapped or heat sealed bags of cannabis bush or possibly skunk.
You're under arrest on possession with intent to supply as well, alright?
Oh, it smells nice, doesn't it?
The haul, 24 kilograms, is worth £120,000. Which explains just why the men were so desperate to get away.
It also then dawned on me that it was quite apparent why some members of this crowd were quite hostile towards us in relation to the arrest, because it's obvious that they were perhaps waiting for some of this cannabis to maybe use themselves, and we'd taken out their big dealer.
Yeah, we've got one in there. The other van's ready for that chap.
We found drugs secreted beneath the carpets. There was speed, amphetamine, ecstasy tablets. Not huge amounts which would be suitable for personal use. So it may well be he looked absolutely knackered because his speed had run out, or his ecstasy had run out, or his amphetamine had run out.
Has it been searched?
So 2 people who were arrested for being concerned in the supply of controlled drugs. The driver for driving issues as well. A large quantity of drugs were taken off the streets.
In Grimsby, today's Joint Forces operation is almost over, but not without one last shot across the bows.
Oh, come on, they're looking in.
We knew there's something wrong with it. Nobody drives like that unless they've been drinking or it's stolen.
I
think he's going to be in this tomorrow.
The driver has seen the lights. He's pulling over.
I've no doubt he wouldn't have done it if it had been a marked police vehicle, which obviously gives us the edge on this occasion.
I know what I've done.
The cop's hunch is confirmed.
Yeah, come on then.
I've had a drink, mate.
Come and sit in the car.
Yeah, I'm not going to not admit it.
Right.
Not going to lie to you, mate. I've had a couple of pints, mate.
You stink, don't you?
Yeah.
The man's admitted he's been drinking.
He was absolutely sozzled. He had no clue of what he'd done. He didn't, in my opinion, he didn't really know where he was. I just held his hands up and basically said, "You've got me, I'm drunk."
Blow harder, harder. You're not blowing hard enough, just going to stop. You're right, it's gone to fail anyway, okay? So I'm arresting you on suspicion of driving whilst over the influence of alcohol.
It's quite ironic, actually, because the he'd actually taken a day off sick from work to go drinking.
And blowing at the moment on the roadside something like 86, so it's looking at possibly being 3 times over the limit.
So if he'd have gone to work like he should have done, none of that would have happened, and he'd have been driving around today happy as Larry. Instead he's lost his licence and potentially could have lost his job.
At the police station, it's time to tot up the day's takings.
2 endorsable, 2 non-endorsable.
And then there's your 2 thefts from motor vehicles. I don't know whose they've gone down on, so...
Mine, of course.
That's what we thought.
Right, I'm going to walk down there.
The drink driver, brought in by PC Scothen, has a confession to make, which is going to increase the score even more.
Well, I'm not lying, mate. I've got 10 diazepam in the pocket, mate.
You what, sorry?
I've got 10 diazepam in the pocket.
You want to hand them over then? To
He's got a load of prescription tranquilisers down his trousers.
Obviously, I'm going to now arrest you on suspicion of being having a Class A drug, alright? You're still under caution.
Class B, isn't it?
Huh? Class B, is it?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Left over with.
Sleeping talks.
Right.
Went inside his trousers and pulled out a matchbox full of little tabs, which I didn't really know what they were to start with, and until he identified them for me.
And that's not the end of the man's confessions.
And then he pulled out some cocaine. I mean, the guy had got Class A and Class B drugs on him, and what looked like just an everyday guy that you'd see. He didn't look like a drug addict or a substance abuser or anything like that. So it was quite an unusual one.
So he's been arrested for drive unfit through drinking drugs, the possession of a Class A and possession of a Class B drug.
Everybody turned drugs out of their pockets. You know, it was a very